Yeah, hello everybody. Scott Golden here with the uh, Superstars of Wrestling Review Series for July 27th, 1991. We are about a little less than a month away from SummerSlam 91. Big event. Probably one of the, I'd say one of the top three SummerSlam events. Well, maybe, nah, top five of all time anyway. Anyway, we move into Kerry Von Erich, who is wearing his jacket and beating up an opponent at the same time, against an enhancement talent. Von Erich really kind of lost here in 1991 late. He does move into the, I guess, opening match, six-man tag, Bulldog and himself and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against the members of Slick's stable, the Warlord and Power and Glory. A completely decent match, although if it wasn't part of the show, I don't think anyone would have minded. The enhancement talent spends a good bit of time outside of the ring, which is a little weird. Just it's a slower paced match, which for an enhancement doesn't make a lot of sense. Discus punch by Tornado and gets the victory there. The hype for the SummerSlam main event or double main event, in this case, the match made in hell, Slaughter, Adnan, and Mustafa versus Hogan and Warrior is here in full force. The update version is Gene Okerlund interviewing the members of the team with special referee Sid Justice, otherwise known aka NWA's Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid, late at a later point. Slaughter basically is embarrassed because Sid says he will not side with them. He will not be intimidated. He's there for justice and justice alone, which actually does kind of play into where he ends up in the heel turn at the beginning of '92. If you really look at the storytelling, I wonder if the heel turn wasn't a big part of everything. But anyway, Slaughter says that Sid will regret this decision within a couple of weeks. In the post interview promo, the Berserker is in there with enhancement talent, and he is hussing his way along, furry boots and all. And with under the guidance of Mr. Fuji, Fuji manages to get his man to tie his opponent up in the ropes, hit a few running shots, and all of that. And again, we kind of see Fuji with some pretty intense stuff and just in telling his opponent or telling his protege to throw his opponent over the top rope. Different finish, interesting finish there. I mentioned Bret Hart was a major force in the on Superstars throughout. He goes out, gives his glasses away to a lucky fan before going into the ring and taking on Mitch Thomas. Kick to the midsection by Hart. Hart also manages to hit things like the Russian leg sweep, the backbreaker, and eventually his signature, the sharpshooter. Obviously, Hart about a month away from winning the Intercontinental Championship the first time. Pretty big deal. Natural disasters are hyped up about the idea of facing the Bushwhackers at SummerSlam. Bushwhackers to be seconded by Andre the Giant. Andre basically says he is looking to come back. He's looking to be at his best. Bushwhackers are not intimidated by Typhoon and the Earthquake. And Andre says that Earthquake had better watch his own back. They do a SummerSlam report. Just interesting match made in heaven, match made in hell concept. Warlord still kind of hyped as a big deal here in the summer of '91. Some tosses, shoulder tackle, and the like. Pretty quick moving is the Warlord. Warlord also manages a suplex and eventually the full Nelson that he normally does. Again, the uh, promos are heavy towards SummerSlam and remain so for the next month. Slaughter promises to take care of both Hogan and the Warrior, and that his Triangle of Terror, which is what they end up calling Slaughter, Adnan, and LKC, will take care of Hogan and Warrior. That's a promise. Mr. Perfect and Coach start to hype the fact that Bret Hart may be close to perfect, but he's not perfect, and he will, in fact, fall to Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam. We go to another vignette with Skinner in the Everglades. Skinner basically says that you never know where he is. They kind of do some shots around the Everglades area, and Skinner says he's right in front of you and he will take people out. Bushwhackers in a squash match here. I've never really been terribly impressed with the Bushwhackers. In the meantime, he gets a Bushwhacker hat for merchandise, is sitting at ringside. The hat does not fit on Andre's head, as one can be expected to understand. However, I almost wonder if they used a kid's hat to accentuate the size difference. Anyhow, clotheslines by the Bushwhackers and the like. Also, there's an inset promo where Andre's knee, which is all scarred up, is shown. Gutbuster and battering ram by the Bushwhackers, and of course they get the victory. Far cry from a victory over the natural disasters, which they do not get at SummerSlam. Jake Roberts comes out and says he's not afraid of death, he's not afraid of darkness, he's been on that side. He promises that if the Warrior asks and trusts him, he will show the Ultimate Warrior the advantages of the dark side. This is a big angle because it goes over several weeks, and the Warrior does take him up on the offer to learn about the dark side. Jake basically says that he is tired of hiding his own darkness, picks up the big snake bag and walks away. Paul Bearer feigns a good bit of intimidation. Hogan and the Warrior says that the Warriors and the Hulkamaniacs have been joined at the hip over the last year. The Warrior in purple face paint tells us that the Warriors can trust in Hulkamania. We hype the jailbreak match between the Mountie and the Boss Man. We go to hype what ends up being probably fourth match on the card, which is Ted DiBiase and Virgil for the $1 million belt. Virgil promises to send DiBiase packing and win the belt and humble the $1 million man. And basically, DiBiase relishes the idea of being able to teach Virgil a lesson more permanently. Then we move into Sid Justice as the special guest referee. That's a pretty big deal at the time. Then we move directly through into a enhancement match for the Mountie. Mountie, of course, still in that big Boss Man program. Boss Man promises to get rid of the Mountie. They basically give this match maybe 15, 20 seconds. I mean, it's really short. And then, of course, Mountie uses the shock stick, again, using intimidation tactics and the like. IRS says that he's going to expose all the tax cheats in the WWF. Kind of mentions Roddy Piper, Greg Valentine, who is going to face IRS at the at SummerSlam. Talks about proving what kind of wrestler he is, still that he's still got something left, and that his name is IRS. Irwin R. Shyster, and he's not intimidated. Bret Hart promises to be the man to take down Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam and win the Intercontinental title as we close for this particular episode. We'll be back with more right after this.